Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. I'm so sorry I was gone for over a week, but my husband was off and we were just enjoying some time together, sometimes with the kids, but most of the time they had to work. But we had a good holiday. I hope all of you had a good holiday. I have to apologize for my fingernails. They were fine this morning and I did one last wash of the dishes and I guess I couldn't take it, and they're terrible, but I wanted to get a video out since it's been too long. Today, actually yesterday when this goes live, here's the catalog. My customers that have purchased $50 or more from me this year, I did send a copy. I hope you got it. And if you have a demonstrator, you can ask them for your copy, or you can sign up to be one of my customers. I would love it. Today I'm using the Hello Ladybug stamp set. There's also a punch, and this punch does, let me show you. It will do this when you stamp the, excuse me, you stamp the body, and then you, with black, you stamp the wings with red, and then you do the dots with black. And that is using the stamp. There's two pieces, okay? And then if you just want to do a ladybug with just red and black cardstock and stamp the wings, that's what it looks like. It's just a little chubbier because there's no outline. And then there's this one today. This one does not cut out with the punch, unfortunately, but I just loved it. I had to. And the leaf behind it, I had to fussy cut. This time I fussy cut it and lifted it up a little on the side, but I really don't think that's necessary. So this time we're just going to stamp it on there and make it easier. So you just have to do the little guy. Alrighty. And this box measures about 3 by 3 by 1.5. And it will fit small gifts and little treats. The base of it is 1.5, but it gets thinner at the top. So I'm a little out of practice doing videos, so I'm sorry I'm stuttering a little bit. All right, so I used the layering circle dies and the bright 6x6 designer series paper for this, and Hello Ladybug. All right, what we need for this is a piece of real red that is 9.5 by 5.5, some basic white for stamping. We need a smooth circle from the layering circle punch that is 2 3/8, and out of real red, a scallop circle that's just a little bigger. We need only one piece, but I cut 2 just in case. That is from a scrap that is 1/2 inch, and you want it to be a cup like 3 or 4 inches wide, long, so that you can work with that for the sentiment. The DSP, I used the Daffodil Delight from the Brights, and it is 2 pieces that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and 1 piece that is 2 3/4 by 7/8. And if you notice, I didn't round the corners of this because it opens just like that. We round this piece a little bit so that when you close it, it tucks right behind. You don't need any Velcro dots or anything like that for this. So I also used, of course, the Black and White Gingham Ribbon and some matte decorative dots there. So let's start with our piece of real red. That is 9.5 by 5.5, and we're going to start on the 9.5 inch side. If you have any questions about the new catalog, please let me know. My email is below, and my blog that has all of the measurements is linked below also. All right, so on the 9.5 inch side, we're going to score at 1/2, 3.5, 5, and 8. Then we're going to turn it to the 5.5 inch side, and we're going to score at 1.5 and 4.5. All right, and that's it. There's lots, I showed you lots of cute things in the new catalog. So this one goes to, I always forget because they changed it last year, so I'm not sure. It goes from January to June of 2022. So we have a couple of months, and don't forget, when you buy anything from Stampin' Up, doesn't have to be in this mini catalog, anything $50 or more, you get free merchandise from the Celebration catalog, which I have here, of which my favorite is the Awesome Otters. But I'll be getting a couple more things, and I have a couple more things that I'm going to show you too. Alright, so let me fold and burnish. So this is what we're going to do. Now you're going to have the skinniest rectangle on the left-hand side. There is a 1.5 inch strip at the bottom and a 1 inch strip at the top. And this is what we're going to do. All right, we're going to get rid of this rectangle, and all of these. Okay? All right, so let's start on the skinny rectangle that's on the left. I'm going to take away this bottom rectangle and cut up a little bit into the piece above it. Then we're going to go to the other side of this rectangle, cut it straight, go to the other rectangle, cut that straight, and then wedge a little bit out of each side of the square that's in the middle. Okay. Alrighty, so then go to the other side of this rectangle and cut it straight up to the first score line. And then we're going to wedge a little out of each side of the square. Okay, now we're going to turn it 180 so that your skinny rectangle is on the right-hand side. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to start over here on the right-hand side. And we're going to take off this skinny rectangle here to the first score line and then just wedge down a little bit into the piece above it. Now this is the only piece we need. This is our flap. So we're going to get rid of 1, 2, 3. So go over to this next score line here, cut it up to the first score line, and then we're going to go to the end here, turn it a quarter turn, and take off the 3 rectangles in a straight line, straight as you can get it. Okay, and that's it. Now this is what your cardstock should look like after you've scored it and cut it. Okay, now we need our tear and tape, and we're going to put it on what's left of the skinny rectangle close to the score line. All right, I'm going to get my take your pick tool. I'm going to take the backing off of the tear and tape. Flip the whole thing over, turn over the piece with the tape on it, and fold the other side to meet it. Okay, so now the piece that has the flap attached to it is the back. So we're going to put the sides in and the back. This is going to be our front, and we're going to put a piece close to the edge on the back of the front flap. And just in case anything is heavy, I'll put another little extra piece for good measure. Take the backings off. Okay, and then we're going to try to square it up nice and even all around. And then just give it a good press. Open it up and give it a good press. All right, now, if there's something specific you want to put in here, I don't have anything right now because I haven't really shopped for anything but Christmas. So I'm just going to bend it. All right, so I'm going to put my pointer in the middle and push, and I'm going to squeeze together with the rest of the fingers. And I'm just going to help it down the sides. But if you have something in there, it will stop wherever the candy or whatever it is goes up to. Okay, so that's what the box looks like now. All right, so we're going to take our DSP. Okay, so so the two pieces that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 are going to go on the front and the back. And this is the DSP that is the 6 by 6 Brights collection, and I have the Daffodil Delight color. And I'm not rounding the corners, so I only made this flat piece 7/8 shorter instead of 1/4 inch on the height, just so that when you folded it and closed it, it's a continuous color. See, I don't it'll be flush up to the top of the bottom of the flap. So the only edges that will be showing will be around the top and the sides. So that when it's closed, here, let me show you. It's a continuous line over here instead of breaking, having a line behind it. I don't know if you understood that, but that's what I'm trying to explain it, how my brain works. All right, and this piece again is 2 3/4 by 7/8, and we're going to make it flush on the bottom, and there'll be 1/8 of an inch on the sides and the top, about 1/8 of an inch. Sometimes it's smaller because of the score lines. Okay, and we're going to let that dry while we do some stamping. Now, for this stamp set, we definitely need our Stampin' Pierce mat for cushion. And we're going to be using this cute one and this. And the sentiment, "You can bug me anytime." All right, my suggestion for this is that you stamp them on scrap first and then clean them off with your stamp cleaner. This was, I think, $10 for a lot of ounces. I don't know what, 8 ounces. Might be 11. And then use your Stampin' Scrub. You just spray it on your Stampin' Scrub and clean it, and then go on your dry side. This is the wet side, that's the dry side. Well, that's how I choose to do it. And then it stamps a lot more solid. Okay, that's just my procedure to do it. Other people use the Stampin' Stamparatus. Sorry, I couldn't remember. So let's get our piece of basic white. And first I'm going to do the black outline. So I need my Tuxedo Black Ink. And I'm really going to try to get a bunch of ink on here, just so that I can make that face really solid. Okay. And I'm just going to press it. And there you go. See how nice and solid he comes out? Okay. Then also with Tuxedo Black, I need the 1/2 inch strip of Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to get the sentiment. And I'm just going to shoot for the middle because we cut it quite a bit of this off. I just don't want you to get too much of my head in there. And there you go. It says, "You can bug me anytime." Put that to dry. Okay, now we need the real red. And this is the body right here. And I may do this twice because it comes out a little light, I guess because it's red ink on the white. But, excuse my head because I really gotta keep this in. Okay. And see, I missed a little bit, but that's okay. It can look like highlight, but I think I'm just going to go in. And if you had the Stamparatus, it would be really good too to just make it a little darker. And stamp it again. I missed the same exact spot, but in the other one I didn't. This one is really, really even. Alrighty. And then we need our piece of our 2 3/8 inch circle that we cut out with the layering circle dies, and we need Pear Pizzazz ink. Now you can cut this like I did on here, and then fussy cut it out and then lift up one side. I put liquid glue on one side and lift it up on the other. But I don't think it really shows that well, so this time, instead of having to fussy cut two things, I'm just going to put this right on, and it fits on there nicely. Push it, lift it up. And there you go. Comes out really nice. This mat is great. I'm not sure if they're available right now. I have to check that. But if you have anything that's foam, if you don't have this for now, it'll help you out. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to get my liquid glue, and I'm going to put this onto the back, onto the top of the Real Red scallop circle. Alrighty. And I already fussy cut one out, so we didn't have to worry about that. Alright, now for my sentiment. What I did was I put my scissor right underneath the last letter. Okay? And then I just angle cut it up. Alrighty, and then on this one, I went over a little bit and aimed for it to end in the middle of the first letter. Alright, I don't know if you can see that, but that's how I did that. Okay, alright, and then I'm going to, I'm going to put this on here with dimensionals, but we need to take this top and just give it a little bend with your bone folder, just so that, don't really crease it, but give it a little bend so it'll have a little memory, just so that when you pop it up and go to put it back in, it knows what it's supposed to do. Okay? Okay. All right, and what we're going to do is where this comes to about right here, you see, right before the end of the stem. So do not put any dimensionals above that on the back. All right, so it's about right here that we don't want to put dimensionals above. And I'm going to get regular full-size dimensionals and put, a bunch. I'm going to put 5. Just so that it's on there securely when you flip it up and down the top flap. Okay, and then I'm just going to center this right in the middle of my DSP. Okay, and just press it on nicely. And then when you close it, just pull this a little, and the more you open and close this, the easier it gets. And then there we go. The lid will just stick back there. Okay? All right, now we're going to do some decorating. All right, and I'm going to put my sentiment so that the bottom edge here is just before the end of the white circle. So I'm going to put that on with with liquid glue, basic glue. Okay, and I'm going to put it so that a little bit of the leaf shows underneath it. Okay, and then I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on my ladybug. And I'm just going to place the ladybug so that it looks like her feet are stepping on the sentiment. Over to the right. Okay, now I need a small hole punch, and I'm going to open up the lid again. over here we want to put 2 holes. Now, you don't have to tie it through here like that. You can just stick it on, but a lot of times the bow is on your flat, it'll tend to fall off if it's just on there with a glue dot. So I'm going to try to get it about right here. Flip it over. And I'm going to make them diagonal with the lower one towards the left edge. Okay. Then I'm going to get my gingham, black and white gingham ribbon. And I'm going to put it through the front and then up through the back. Okay, and then I'm just going to tie it over, and whichever one is on the bottom is the one you want to make your loop with. And then bring the other one around the back and poke it through the hole. Okay. Then I'm just going to play around with it until you like it. This one I put a little bit lower because I really wanted it more closer to the embellishment, and I might make it a little bit bigger than this one. Okay, there we go. And then I'm just going to cut it at an angle on both sides. Maybe a little shorter. So you don't want it to cover up your ladybug. Alrighty. And this is a 1/8 inch. If you can't find that size, you could use a different size. Alrighty. Just give it a little squeeze when it's in there too, so it gets used to being like that. Okay, now for our final touch, I'm using some matte decorative dots, and I'm going to use the yellow, the ones that I think are Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to use the sticky end. And I'm going to put a large one. Can't get that one. A large one over here by the top, and then 2 small ones. One over here, and one right down there. And that's it. Okay, I hope you liked this project with the new stamp set. Hello Ladybug. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. I would love it if you don't have a demonstrator, if you would purchase your Stampin' Up! Products through me. Remember, the new catalog went live yesterday, so it's all up on the site, so you can actually look at the catalog. There's a button for that. Or you can just scroll through. I think there's a What's New. Yeah, there's a What's New tab on the left-hand side that you can look at the catalog. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time you spend with me, and I will see you next time. I'm going to try to get one out tomorrow since I missed yesterday and last week. Okay, have a great day. Bye.